Most Americans don't feel rich. I imagine if I were to pass out a survey in your town, there wouldn't be that many people that would check mark a box that says, I consider myself rich, or I am rich. And even though we don't feel rich, the reality is that because we live in America, we really are. If we honestly compare ourselves to the rest of the world, we are some of the most wealthiest people in the world. In fact, for some of you, you probably drove here to your small group in a car that you personally own, which puts you by some measures in the top 10% of the wealthiest people in the world. And then after small group, you're gonna go home and you're gonna park your car in a garage. That's like a little home for your car. And after you park your car in the garage, you're gonna walk inside and you'll probably maybe grab something to eat, a little snack, and then you'll head in, you'll take a shower, and you may even use the bathroom. And when you use the bathroom, you push a little handle and all your stuff just goes away. And for much of the world, their stuff doesn't go away. It actually sticks around. It stays in a hole or in a ditch outside of their house. And after you use the bathroom, you'll go lay down in a bed, you'll wake up the next morning, and then you'll walk into your closet where there's clothes that are just for you. And then you'll say, man, I have nothing to wear today. Truly, we are some of the most wealthy people in the world. And the reason why I bring this to your attention is because when we come to 1 Timothy chapter 6, Paul is going to address the rich. And it's so easy for us to dismiss this as, oh, he's talking to someone else, when in reality, he is talking to me and he's talking to you. And so Paul says this in 1 Timothy 6, starting in verse 17. It says, as for the rich in this present age, charge them not to be haughty, nor to set their hopes on uncertainty of riches, but on God, who richly provides us with everything to enjoy. They are to do good, to be rich in good works, to be generous and ready to share, thus storing up treasures for themselves as a good foundation for the future, so that they may take hold of that which is truly life. Paul challenges us to be generous in every way, both in good works, but also willing to share what God has blessed us with. And if we are going to have this generous mindset and this generous heart, there are some steps that we are going to have to take. And the very first one is to let go. We need to let go of the control that our material possessions and our finances can have on us. In fact, Paul gives two warnings about wealth. The very first one is he says, don't be arrogant or prideful about your wealth. Wealth has a way of us thinking that it's mine, that this is mine, I earn this, or I deserve this, and we rob God of his ownership. The second warning or danger that Paul gives to the wealthy in this passage is he says that they can put their hope in the uncertainty of riches. In other words, they can find their security, their hope, they can find their future in their wealth. But Paul says this is uncertain. And we know this. The stock market crashes, the housing market turns, a pink slip shows up on your desk, and all of a sudden the hope that you had in your wealth is gone. Instead, we need to let go of the hold that money and possessions and stuff can have over our lives, and we need to trust God as the owner of everything and put our hope in him as our provider. And after we let go, then we choose to be generous. We are to be generous, to be rich in good deeds, and to share what we have. Just as God has blessed us in this world, we are to bless others with what he has given us. I'm reminded of a youth conference that I went to several years ago where we watched a movie called Ruby. It was about a girl who had planned to give up her 16th birthday, and instead of receiving presents or gifts from her friend or family members, she decided to ask for donations to an organization that would build houses for those who don't have a home in other parts of the world. And so Ruby worked hard to raise money. She did all kinds of service projects and offered and sold things so that people would donate towards her project. And when her 16th birthday came around, Ruby had raised $10,000 for families to have homes. Now, Ruby was an ordinary teenager who chose to let go of the material possessions and the wants and the desires that so often come at our birthday time. And she chose to be generous with what God had given her, so that this family would know that they have a God who loves and provides for them and now they have a home because of Ruby. She let go. She chose to be generous so she could take hold. Take hold of life, which is truly life. It's a life where our self-worth is not determined by what is in or not in our bank account. It's a life where money and stuff is not our master, but rather Jesus is. It's a life where we get to be generous and see the joy that that brings into the lives of others. And I just want to invite you into this life, a life that is pleasing and honoring to God. So let go, be generous, and take hold.